Peace, peace, peace. Top of
If
the
you pour
rising.
too much cream in, you won't even know you ever had coffee. It used to be hot, it becomes cool. It used to be strong, it becomes weak. It used to wake you up, now it'll put you to sleep. They took the fire out of the
Man, sometimes I gotta go sit back and I gotta go listen to some good Malcolm X. I can see how he grew the nation numbers, man. That man, our ability to articulate himself and the integrity in which he had and which he spoke was by far one of the highest levels. I made this title, White Devils, Black God. And it was funny because that was the sentiment of the liberation movement in America. When they would speak to black people in America, they were trying to explain how these are white devils that we're dealing with and we are the black gods. And it was the most powerful because it resonated with so many, especially in a time where they're dealing with devils at their doorstep. They're working for devils. They're smiling in the face of devils. They're trying to integrate with devils. They're trying to love on these devils, turn the other cheek. They're trying to utilize the political system of the devil. Everything. And it's because they didn't realize that they were devils, that they had such a belief in the system. And today, man, I see so many people loving on these devils. And the type of devils that we talking about is the type of devils with power. Real devils. And they showing their teeth and they grinning hard. And I fear that our people has forgotten who the enemy is. And I know this is true because I'm in Atlanta and all I see is the rappers fighting themselves, not realizing it was the devil that put them against each other in the first place. Who made you hate yourself? Who made you hate your brother? I think we just got to get back to, in some ways, speaking it plain, I see so many people just completely owned, no freedom at all. Lost their souls, just suckers. And as I'm sitting on land, I think about land, because as he was talking about, he's saying, without land, you don't have a real movement, essentially. You can't have no revolution without land. Because land allows you the ability to be able to build a nation. Land allows you the ability to build a nation. And as I was doing the event yesterday, man, it got my spirit stirred up right afterwards. And I'm going to be honest, what came up to me and said, man, it's not enough. I got on stage and I was talking for maybe about 30, 40 minutes. And they started hitting me with the time. Bringing my brother Nature Jab up, which I think he's a phenomenal young man, very powerful young man. And only because when I think about what's required to really initiate young men into becoming soldiers, to becoming builders, and what is required to help transform the mind, we need time with each other. I can't do that in 3 hours. So, when I grew up as FOI, Fruit of Islam, in the Nation of Islam, we would have to go to a Monday night meeting every single Monday. We would learn, we would do militant drills, we would study nation building, we would study the divine science, teachings, we would get restrictions, laws, rules, orders. Then we would have Saturday night morning meetings. We would have Saturday morning meetups to where we would do workouts. We would do business conversation. Sometimes we'd be in there doing some boxing. And then Sunday we would have a spiritual meeting. And after that spiritual meeting, the men would then meet and they would talk business after that meeting as well. Oh, and on those Saturdays, we used to go out in the neighborhood and we would do a militant demonstration in the neighborhood, really as a tool of recruitment for young men to join in the organization. And so I get the prying eyes saying, man, Keys, how do we turn this into an institution? Because I believe that we can have influence and impact, but without institution, I don't know how long it lasts. When you build an institution, that's when you conquer in time. Meaning that you're doing something that will outlive your own physical body. So it's not selfish, because you won't even experience all of the benefits that this institution will produce, all of the fruits that it will produce. And I think the only thing is real true nation building. And in that nation business, man, we got to have land. We got to have an army to protect that land. But that means we have to have soldiers. We can't have no pussies that didn't lost their way. And it's feminine ass generation. They got to be retrained up, and you got to catch these young men early and give them a militant mindset. When I say Renaissance, I'm speaking in a double voice. I want y'all to know I mean revolution. To me, they one and the same. I had my tech guy. We was talking about how do we create a digital network nation that turns into a physical nation. And I was explaining, Bruce Mobile, I was explaining all of you all that have businesses, how do we transform what is pre-existing into nodes that connect each other? Because I think that we have it all, but it's all disconnected. There's a brother over here with 23 acres of land. There's another brother with 50 acres, another brother with 2 acres. There's a brother with a construction company. You understand me? There's a brother with a media company over here. There's a brother with the wellness company over here. There's a brother with mental health services over here. You understand me? There's a brother with a distribution company over here. There's a brother to do the credit over here, right? There's a brother with a gym over here. That's a nation. When you start putting them all together, you're like, wait a minute, I see a nation that's fragmented. Come under no single flag, no origin, nothing. I see the nation, and I'm saying that it ain't my job to be the great leader of the nation. It's my job to bring the parts of the nation together. Come on, Jess. That's the job. And so we was talking about, and this is why it's so important to have vertical integration with things, because when you can come up with a vision, and when somebody on the team can take that vision and then they can turn it into a reality, then y'all can get to work. Because I need to make the impact while I'm living. I need to make the organization and the institutions, and I want to see the change while I'm living. Because everybody else get to see they change while they living. I ain't got to wait till I die for this shit. But we willing to die for it. Everybody else get to see they change while they living. They keep telling us to wait. What the fuck we waiting for? What you waiting for? You think Jesus gonna come and do it for you? You think you gotta die to go to heaven, to see heaven? Everybody get to see their heaven, man. I'm jealous. The Japanese man, the Asian man, the Russian man, the white man, the Indian. They get to see their heaven while they living. Why the black man gotta wait till we chosen people and we done been through the most struggle on the planet Earth? We ain't gotta fucking wait no more, man. I'm tired of convincing people that the time is now. So I'm going to build. And last night I was sitting and I understand that how dangerous it is. Because what's the hardest thing on the planet Earth is just to get us to focus on something. Just to get us to focus on something. How do you get people to focus when they ain't got time, when they ain't got no money, when they don't know what the job of the future is? You go in there, you want to send the military on these young brothers to bring crime down for a couple of days so you can stack a stat. You understand me? That won't even last. And there's some niggas actually applauding that. Because y'all afraid of the responsibility to raise some of these young men. To build an institution. You just want to be wealthy and left alone. I can't respect that kind of black man that don't take no responsibility in his community, no responsibility for his people, that's giving up on him. Because, listen, I get hate from my own people. Keys, you're not doing this enough. Keys, you're not doing this. And I still love my people. Because I know some of them fucked up, but they still family. I ain't gonna never let what the devil did to us make us hate us. So, come on, people in the room. Don't be saying stupid shit, man. Don't speak to me about rappers who don't do nothing for the black community. I don't see it. What's the comment? I don't see it. Now I'm not going to stop using the word niggas until we stop acting like niggas. I'm not going to stop cursing until we stop acting curse. I ain't trying to be nice about nothing. I just want to let y'all understand that. You understand? When we stop acting like the description of something and you want to be a god, then I'm going to treat you like a god and I'm going to call out the gods for being gods. But as long as we got niggas, we need to be able to differentiate. Because there's niggas, there's black men, and there's gods, and everybody ain't all of them. I ain't doing that. Some of them is plain up bitches. Straight up. We ain't gonna stop nothing. I just want to let you know what I'm on. We back on that type of time, man. I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't feeling myself, I would say, over the last month. I had to go and do some real deep wellness to get myself back to me. And when I start feeling myself, I start realizing what needs to be done on a serious level. The only reason that it made me stop saying those things would be fear. And I ain't fearful. You want to stop these young boys from acting sassy and turn into little punks. And ain't nobody want to speak no truth that these little boys are punks. And then it's because they watched their fathers that were punks. I don't blame the young men. I blame the men that didn't raise them. And the men that didn't raise them in the perpetual cycle. Somebody got to stand up at some point in time. We need 1 million men that build. We need 1 million men that nation build, man. We're going to build out the Digital Nation Network. This Digital Nation Network will combine all of the pieces of the nation that we need. We'll put all of the assets, you understand me, under one roof. This will allow us to organize nationally. It'll allow us to invest in each other, protect each other, have access to each other's resources, and create a network that has power. We can take percentages of the proceeds and we'll build out the grocery stores we need to end food deserts. We can build out the trade schools that we need to help these young men that's looking for themselves. Listen, I don't care if you building a school to teach these young men how to properly take advantage of YouTube. You got to give them something. But I just don't want to see fragmented progress because that black excellence shit ain't excellent. I want to see only black nation building at this point in time because of what the other people got in store for us is a form of slavery that you never get out of. A form of slavery that turns you against yourself. And if you can see it like I see it, it'll probably make it hard for you to sleep at night, knowing what we up against. But I'm optimistic because I also know that I think that we silently be accumulating everything that we need. It's just now time to organize it. There are brothers that know things that I don't know, that can do things that I can't do. And I'm not able to organize with those brothers and those sisters all across the planet Earth because our sisters, y'all are in position right now as well. And I ain't talking about getting no money from you or nothing like that. We go get money. We go do business. But this ain't no money play, man. I'm talking about organizing a nation play. We go build wealth, regenerational wealth. But the generational wealth, we've been missing the key because we've been acting like generational wealth comes from the money and the assets that we acquire, but our children ain't shit. So if you ain't raising the next generation, that's our wealth right there. It's how great the youth are, is our wealth. You want to see the wealth of Black America, go look at the youth. I'll show you a bright future or I'll show you a poor one. That's simple. So when we start talking wealth, generational wealth specifically, and we don't see a great future in the youth, then we don't have a future at all. And that's simple mathematics. So when we look out there and we say, man, I don't know what the next generation gonna do. Well, what you doing it for then? You go, look, man, these young brothers, man, I don't know about. Well, stop talking this generational wealth shit then. Nah, because the wealth is going to be found in the community because the measurements in which we are believing in are false. We take that money, little paper dollars, and we thought that's money when we just seen a Donald Trump family make billions creating their own currency. If that's not a blueprint, I don't know what is. There ain't no reason that we don't have our own currency, launching our own currencies, working them into an ecosystem. I got to get on the call with John Boyd Jr., who is the president of the Black Farmers Association. We shot a high-level conversation with him. I went to go visit his farm in Virginia. And he told me, because I asked him, I said, what are you doing this for? What is the ultimate goal? He's the only black man in America to get us a form of reparations, cash payments, up to $2 billion, because he sued the USDA and won in court. And that's the type of man I gotta respect and I gotta salute. That's the type of man I gotta respect and I gotta salute. And when I asked him and he answered, he said, the elder generation of farmers ain't got nobody to pass it down to. He said the younger generation don't seem interested. I said, brother, that's not true. They want to live off grid. They want to live on land. The trend shows the opposite. The trend shows that they tired of the system because they are the generation that is to produce the age of Aquarius. They want decentralization. And so he say, man, these elder farmers, man, they looking for somebody to pass the land down outside of their name because they can't find it inside their last name. So to build out a network that allows young people to connect with elders that have the land to teach them the skill set, but also the young people can bring new business models of what to do with the land, which is part of why me and Yaki is working with our good brother here on the land, and we're putting together this camp, or we call it a retreat. It's because we want to show you what you can do with your land. You can nation build with this land. Yes, you can produce crops, food, but even more than that, you can build a nation, new towns, new cities, new industry on the land. My brother Drip Radio, yes, with the VR 3D landscaping. See, the difference between this generation is they got more technology than any other generation on the planet Earth. I can come here, create a 3D model of each land, and everybody can see it. Then we show people what we're going to do with the land. Then we can all invest into the development of the land because, listen, man, you might own you some land, but you ain't got no community. You might own your land, but you don't have no vision. You might own you some land, but do you have resources to build on top of the land? You might own your land, but do you have the knowledge and innovation and creativity and the access and the connections that you need? And the answer, no. So stop trying to make your assets special if you're missing the pieces to build on it. Everywhere I see people be trying to make it seem like they shit so special, brother. You missing the very thing that you need to develop. We need each other. Oh, brother, well, I got the other piece. Hey, you know that sister got the other piece right there. Y'all need each other. But see, we want to build, we want to own 100% of everything. So the value of what we own is always going to be smaller. Would you rather own 10% of a billion or 100% of a million? Because we got a lot of 100% of a millions walking around over here. Man, I want 100% of a million, brother. Okay.